those are the kind of lawsuits that exist.
Do you think that person should be suing that person?
Under the state law in California, they can and they do.
Do you think they should be?
No. That is not the argument. You said that it would get laughed out of court. I actually threw.
Do you think they should be
actual cases?
I didn't say laughed out of court. Those are your words,
fucking
right?
ridiculous.
So I'm saying
no, you said it would.
It's a ridiculous court. It's a ridiculous case. I agree.
Thing, and it get laughed out of court.
They should get thrown. I should have get thrown out of court.
Breaking into a house, falls through a fucking skylight, breaks her back.
Plenty of litigious cases, AircraftSparky, do get thrown out.
That's completely fine.
Sparky, plenty of litigious cases to get thrown out.
So I'm familiar with this case in California. I was actually there at the time when this happened. I'm struggling though because I don't know what the hell this has to do with what we're talking about.
So basically,
if you can thread the needle for me and tie it back in, yeah,
I'll thread it all together. So he's basically saying that someone claiming that they're offended that their child was told that their teacher was gay married and they sue him. He asked me, would I sue someone over that? I said no. And he said, would you support a bill that allows that? I said yes, because parents have a right to make decisions on what their children are exposed to. He laughs and he says that's ridiculous. It'll get thrown out of court. No, it will not. I cited that case in California to show just how ridiculous lawsuits are that are in America that are considered legitimate. In a litigious society, you can be sued for almost anything, just like you can indict a freaking ham sandwich.
Do you support those laws, Sparky? Because if not, then it doesn't make sense to apply it here, right?
I support the ability of a parent to choose what their children are exposed to at all times.
Homeschool them.
Yeah, but that's
public.
So I want to be fair, but this seems like a diversion. So since I asked this, I've got it now 4 times. If these laws are absurd in your eyes, he's asking you, do you support these laws even though they're absurd? You do.
This law is not absurd in any way.
No, not this law. He's saying he's trying to draw the comparison. If you support,
he's not doing a good job.
Yeah, if you think that these laws over here are absurd, right? Do you support them?
Yes.
And you do. Okay.
Yes.
I support no absurd
because
laws.
It is the will of the people.
That's where we diverge.
Like it or not, it is the will of the people. Teachers are public servants. They work at the will of the people because they are in their entire job, their entire existence is to do what? Teach the curriculum, which is approved by the State Board of Education, who are what? Elected by the people. You see where I'm getting there?
You think that we're saying the will of the people. Aren't most people under agreement? The society is too happy?
No, actually it isn't. If you can cite a poll that shows that, I'd love to see it because I don't believe that exists.
I can find. I'm sure, right, that the average person, right, is thinks the society is too happy. If you ask the average person, they think of cases that are like overly litigious all the time. Even you, Sparky, think that we're too litigious, right?
Yeah, I do. I do think that we're too litigious. Yes, but the deal is, these politicians keep on getting reelected, so therefore it must be the will of the people that this litigious society is exactly what they want.
You think the politicians always represent the people? They never do things that the people just don't like?
Well, that is their job, and that's what we elect them to do. If they don't do it, you should vote them out.
You should, right? But it's really hard to vote them out if you've got no real candidates that oppose them, right?
There's always real candidates. Are they what you would be?
Not ones that you ever
vote
see
for,
right? When it comes to the primaries, this is too off topic. In the case of the average person, I think we can all probably understand the average person thinks society is too litigious. It's not the will of the people here, right? So in the case of the specific argument given, right, the idea that the average person is going to think it's reasonable to, or that you should be allowed to sue somebody if they mention to their classroom that they got married and like who they married, right? Like saying I married my wife or something over the weekend. Right? The average person they're not gonna think it's okay. They're gonna think that's a stupid thing to sue somebody over, and you shouldn't sue it. You think this, Sparky. Everyone in this panel, I guess not this panel. I guess in this debate, both of us think this. I'm assuming, right? Probably pretty on point that Andrew also thinks the society's too happy, right? I don't think it's the case that society's like fine with the rate of lawsuits.
I think if you're disregarding the parents and their will, what they want in their children, I believe that they should be able to sue to their heart's content.
You should probably be homeschooling then, if you think that your school system.
Because if your tax dollars, if your tax dollars are going towards that public education, why should that individual be shunned from public education just because they disagree?
My tax dollars go to roads, AircraftSparky. I don't choose what the asphalt is made of.
You don't pay any land taxes. You're a renter, dude.
I
It's
don't pay
okay.
land taxes, but I do pay taxes.
You do not pay property taxes, so your taxes don't go to any schools. Hate to break it to you, guy.
Yeah, you caught me. You caught me. I'm a renter.
Yes.
That
So
was your
really,
point.
but that's a reality we live in. Property taxes go to pay for public schools. The people are the one
Did you not
who
hear
determine if the curriculum
example I
is
just gave
fine.
you? I said
Huh?
I pay taxes, right? I don't decide what those taxes go to.
Yes, you're right.
We all collectively decide that, right? So I
But
don't get to choose like the specifics of like the asphalt the roads are made of, right?
Yes. You don't.
Okay. So then just because I pay taxes for it doesn't mean that I'm justified in suing the construction company when they use a type of asphalt that I personally don't like, right? If I personally don't like it, that's irrelevant. It's a matter of if it works or not.
I don't think you're following the argument.
Well,
Then you probably shouldn't make it.
So
can you restate it?
I'll tie it all together for you. Okay, the people who are paying their taxes through property taxes are the people who actually vote for people in the school board. It is the school board, the state's board of education, who determines the curriculum. Teachers are hired to teach the curriculum. That is what they're hired to do. That is it.
Do you think they're hired with the idea in mind that if they ever mention to the fact that they just got married over the weekend to their students, they'll get fired? Do you think they think about that when they're getting hired?
Actually, they are trained on what is appropriate and inappropriate conversation. Yes, that is.
Can you tell me any training that says that you're not allowed to talk about who you married over the weekend?
No, they don't say that specifically. They say,
of course they don't.
Hold on. They say that your private life is your private life. It is not one that you share with the children. It is called a professional relationship. Your job as a teacher is to build a rapport with your students, not to build a relationship with your teachers.
What do you think rapport
with
is?
Your students? Rapport is just a general thing. Hey, they know who I am, and this guy will help me out if I need help. They don't need to know everything about your private life. The job of a teacher.
Not saying they should specify everything. I'm saying it's fine for them to mention that. It's fine for a teacher to mention they got married over the weekend.
Simply mention, no one is going to sue, and if they choose,
you said they should be able to.
Yes, they should be able to.
Okay, that's
because
a problem. It's bad.
They are a public servant. They are not. They are there by the will of the people and the will of the people only.
You shouldn't be suing people for mentioning that they got married over the weekend. That's ridiculous. I don't know where to go with that. I guess we can. Is there any other part of the bill that you like?
Well, so
you
that
think
wasn't
is
even
particularly good that you like
my
to
argument
talk about?
to begin with. The entire argument that I am talking about is actually the professional responsibility of a teacher, and the only reason why people are freaking out about this is because they want to have secret conversations with children.
You think that line 97 says anything about it being secret?
Huh?
Line 97 is nothing about it being secret, right? If it's completely public and out in the air and open.
So
then line 97 means you get to sue about it.
I mean,
are you saying there are other parts where they talk about the parents being informed other than the one part that I'm calling that's
so his argument though, as he's stating it, I just want to make sure I get it clear. I think he's stating that this leaves the room open for there to be secret conversations that parents have no recourse to. Is that right, AircraftSparky?
Yes.
For if it's not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate, which means
not
literally nothing legally.
Okay, so for a junior in high school, there was this I think it was in California where they had a teacher showing graphic porn to juniors in high school. Is that age appropriate?
Porn?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hang on, because I think that it's fine to bring that point up, but can you contextualize it for us?
So age appropriate is actually the word that a lot of people are going to focus on. So yes, there are some things that are considered age appropriate and not age appropriate. Anytime in high school, if they are under the age of 18, showing graphic pornography to a child would still not be age appropriate by any means. There are actual legal standards for these things that you don't understand. When you talk about things like ages 4 to 9, when you're talking to a child and the kid says, "Hey, I don't have any power. We haven't had power in 2 days," doesn't necessarily mean that the bills aren't getting paid.
There were legal standards I don't understand, Sparky. What are those?
Pardon?
You claim that there were legal standards I don't understand about what age appropriate is.
There are some things that are considered what would be age appropriate? You can actually talk on a scientific level about things like sexual reproduction around teenagers and stuff that would not be age appropriate.
I asked you what the legal standard was.
It depends on the state.
What? Go ahead. I'll say for your state. I don't know which state you're in. You don't have to dox yourself, but just what are the standards in your state?
I'm in Oklahoma. In the state.
Okay. What are the standards for that in your
state? They
They
don't actually talk about sexual reproduction in humans till around 7th grade.
What is age appropriate in the court of law in the case of Oklahoma?
So in the state of Oklahoma, when you're talking about sexual reproduction in humans for 7th grade,
what is the legal definition of age appropriate in Oklahoma?
There are different levels of what is considered age appropriate, considered on the age of the students. So there are different standards. There are not a blanket standard.
What is the definition legally? What can I look up to find the definition in Oklahoma for age appropriate legally? What is the legal definition of that term? Is you just swap tabs or something?
Let me just go to the State Board of Education. I'll just.
You illuminated white. I thought I didn't understand it though, so you should know it offhand, right?
No. I don't have the State Board of Education's everything memorized. I taught history, for Christ's sakes.
That's so true.
I was a health.
I guess a reason why you should not try to make jabs on not understanding the legality.
But I'm sitting there going, you are not understanding that children have different comprehension levels, and no, a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old will not understand that the power is off because of bills, or it could just be there was a blackout, there was a transformer that blew. Okay, those children don't know that. So yes, the teacher would contact the parents in that situation. Now, if they said, hey, I'm having trouble paying my bills, okay, maybe then you would elevate that. But the teacher's job is not to throw everything at the counselor immediately. If there's a reasonable suspicion of abuse, that is when you bring it to the counselor. That's when you bring it to the administration. That's when you bring it to CPS. Not before then. You talk to the child and you deal with that on a case-by-case basis.
So you said this earlier. We went down this line and we got at the age appropriate point, right? We already went over this. We moved to the age appropriate position. You said that there's a legal qualification for age appropriate that me, Sinthe, doesn't understand, right? The Sparky does, right? Then you had to Google it or whatever. If you want to give me that definition, could you? Just in Oklahoma. It doesn't have to be across the entire U.S. Just what does it mean in Oklahoma?
Age appropriate, it literally what it says. What is the appropriate content for someone at that specific age?
But what is the legal definition of it?
The legal definition, the de facto fucking dude.
Do you have case precedent you could appeal to without I'm sure it is.
No, I don't need case precedent because I'm a fucking adult that understands words.
You have to have some kind of legal definition. You're saying there's a legal definition for this that I don't understand, right? So I'm just asking what it is.
So there is a legal understanding of what age appropriate is. It varies from state to state.
What is it in that state? Your state, Oklahoma.
Here in the great state of Oklahoma, it is what is appropriate for the child at that age.
It's what is appropriate. What do you know is appropriate for a child at that
age?
You're just moving the words around.
Appropriate for a child at that age.
This is like a circular definition.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
That's a problem, Sparky. That's not the legal definition.
Okay, so what's the legal definition?
It's certainly not that because it's circular.
Oh yeah, come on.
There isn't one in Oklahoma. You made that up. You made that up. Yeah. There's no legal definition.
There are standards. There are standards for fucking everything, man.
Cite me them. Cite me the case precedent you're basing it off of.
Oklahoma.
What did you link me?
So age appropriate over an adult. Developmental appropriate means activities or items that are generally accepted as suitable for children for the same age or maturity level that are determined to be developed appropriate as child based on development cognitive, emotional, physical, and behavioral capabilities that are typical for an age or age group. Yes, that is actually the legal definition as per the state of Oklahoma.
So when you said that I didn't know that, you didn't know it either, I'm guessing, right?
No, I have a common understanding of what words mean.
Okay.
I don't have to make new terms up for everything.
That's all good.
There's not
Rob,
nuance in everything.
Well, wait, hang on, back up. But you did pull it up just now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brought it up for him.
So that's what his ask is. That's been linked down in the super chat.